It started with a call, just another routine mission for the local police unit. But what happened next, no one could have predicted. A K9 dog, wounded and bleeding, crawling across an empty road with a backpack clutched tightly in its jaws. No one knew where it came from. No one knew what was inside. And most chilling of all, no one understood why the dog refused to let go, even as its strength faded with every step. Officers rushed toward it, thinking it was just another tragic moment in a dangerous world. But what they found inside that backpack stopped everyone in their tracks. It wasn't money. It wasn't drugs. And it wasn't weapons. It was something much, much deeper. A message. A memory. A mission. Something this loyal animal believed was worth dying for. And by the time you finish this story, you'll understand exactly why. Some heroes don't wear badges or uniforms. Some just wear fur and never leave your side. His name was Rex. A 4-year-old German shepherd with deep brown eyes and a heart that beat only for one thing: to protect. But to Officer Daniels, Rex wasn't just a K9 partner. He was family. They trained together. Ate together. Served together. Slept in the same cruiser on long shifts. In the silence between calls, they spoke a language that didn't need words, just trust. For Daniels, Rex wasn't just a tool of the job. He was his shadow. His protector. His best friend. That morning, the unit was dispatched to an abandoned property on the edge of town. Suspicious activity. Possibly armed suspects. Nothing they hadn't dealt with before. But Daniels noticed something strange in Rex that day. The dog seemed more alert. His ears perked higher. He was sniffing at the wind, scanning the tree line like something was off. They were supposed to wait for backup. But then, a scream came from inside the building. Without hesitation, Rex leapt into action, followed closely by Daniels. The next 60 seconds were chaos, a blur of shouting, broken glass, and then an explosion. Smoke. Silence. When Daniels opened his eyes, his ears were ringing, and Rex was gone. Vanished. The officers searched the area. Yelled his name. Scanned every corner. Nothing. Just blood on the ground, and Rex's collar, torn and buried beneath debris. It felt like the end. A loyal dog, lost in the line of duty. But that wasn't the end. That was just the beginning. Because 3 hours later, miles away from the scene, a farmer spotted something crawling through the grass, and it would change everything they thought they knew. The blast had come from a crude explosive, hidden under floorboards. It was meant to catch someone off guard. But no one expected it to go off with Rex still inside. In the chaos, everything went dark. Officer Daniels, half-conscious, called out for Rex, over and over. But there was no bark. No sound. Just the quiet hiss of smoke and dust settling. When backup arrived, they pulled Daniels out first. Bruised. Bleeding. Barely able to speak. All he could say was one word: Rex. The team combed through rubble. Shouted into the empty woods. Checked the nearby roadways. Still nothing. Then they found the collar. Torn. Covered in soot. That's when most assumed the worst. A hero had fallen. But 3 hours later, and nearly 5 miles from that explosion, a call came into the local dispatch. A farmer, just outside the city limits, had seen something moving through his fields. Thought it was a wounded coyote, he told dispatch. But it was limping, dragging something behind it. A bag, maybe. Officers raced to the location. And there, just past a broken fence, was Rex. Blood on his paws. Burn marks along his side. Barely breathing. And in his teeth, clenched tight despite the pain, was a black tactical backpack. dragged across miles of terrain. No one could believe it. Why? Why would a wounded dog carry a bag this far? What could possibly be inside that Rex believed was more important than his own life? The answer was zipped inside. And when they opened that backpack, even the toughest man in uniform couldn't hold back tears. Rex was barely conscious. His breathing was shallow. His legs trembled. His coat was scorched. But still, he wouldn't let go of that backpack. Paramedics rushed to his side, but every time they tried to reach for the bag, Rex growled. Weakly, but fiercely. His jaw trembled, but he held on. Until he saw one face. Officer Daniels. Battered, bandaged, but alive. Rex's eyes softened. He let go. Slowly, Daniels unzipped the backpack. Everyone leaned in. Inside, there was no weapon. No evidence. No mission files. Just a small, beat-up box. Wrapped in tape. Daniels opened it, hands shaking. And what he saw made the entire team go silent. Inside the box was a stack of handwritten letters. Personal. Emotional. Private. Letters Officer Daniels had written to his daughter every day during his night shifts. For when she's old enough to understand, he used to say. Alongside the letters was a tiny pink locket. His daughter's. She had given it to Rex one morning to keep Daddy safe. Somehow, in the panic of the explosion, that backpack had ended up in the building. Daniels didn't even remember taking it with him. But Rex did. Injured. Burned. Dazed. He still knew what mattered most to his handler. And he made it his mission, with every drop of strength left, to return it. Because to Rex, protecting Daniels meant protecting what Daniels loved. That's what made him a K9. And more than that, that's what made him a hero. But Rex's journey wasn't over. And while the backpack had been delivered, his life still hung by a thread. The moment Rex collapsed, everything stopped. The medics knew he didn't have much time. He had lost a lot of blood. His back leg was broken. Shrapnel was still lodged in his side. And yet, he had walked. Crawled. Dragged a backpack across fields and fences, just to deliver something he knew mattered. As they lifted him into the emergency unit, Daniels climbed in beside him. He didn't speak. He just placed a hand gently on Rex's head and whispered, "Stay with me, buddy. Just a little longer." At the Veterinary Trauma Center, a team of specialists worked through the night. It was a miracle he'd made it this far. But even miracles need help. Blood transfusions. Surgery. Hours of delicate care. Daniels never left the waiting room. At one point, he took out one of those letters from the backpack, the one he had written for his daughter a year ago, and read it out loud, tears in his eyes. Real heroes don't always wear capes, it said. Sometimes, they walk on 4 legs. The next morning, the vet came out, still wearing gloves stained with effort. She looked exhausted, but smiled. "He made it," she said. Daniels broke down. He wasn't just relieved. He was overwhelmed. Because Rex hadn't just survived an explosion. He had survived with purpose. To protect his partner. To carry what his partner couldn't. And somehow, against every odd, he did. That day, the department didn't just get their K9 back. They got something more. The photo of Rex, bandaged, tired, but alive, went viral. TV crews showed up outside the hospital. School kids sent drawings. Letters poured in from all over the country, from police departments, military veterans, dog handlers, even strangers. People didn't just see a dog. They saw courage. They saw loyalty. They saw something the world desperately needed to be reminded of. That true heroes don't always carry weapons. Sometimes, they carry backpacks. A few months later, Rex was officially retired from active duty. A story that would stay with them forever. A story that reminded them what loyalty really looks like. And what it truly means, to never leave a man behind. But the world wasn't done hearing about Rex. Because what he did that day would soon become something bigger than any mission he ever trained for. News travels fast in a small town. But this story flew across the country. Within days, headlines read, "Wounded K9 crawls miles to save partner's backpack." The photo of Rex, bandaged, tired, but alive, went viral. TV crews showed up outside the hospital. School kids sent drawings. Letters poured in from all over the country, from police departments, military veterans, dog handlers, even strangers. People didn't just see a dog. They saw courage. They saw loyalty. They saw something the world desperately needed to be reminded of. That true heroes don't always carry weapons. Sometimes, they carry backpacks. A few months later, Rex was officially retired from active duty. But his story wasn't finished. He was honored at a national ceremony. Given the Medal of Bravery for service animals. And most importantly, he went home. Home with Daniels. Where he could spend the rest of his days not chasing suspects, but chasing tennis balls in the backyard. Loved. Safe. Remembered. Rex didn't just protect a partner that day. He protected a legacy. One that still teaches people, young and old, what it means to be brave. And if you're still listening, there's something else Rex's story can leave you with. Something that goes far beyond police work, or even dogs. We often think of bravery as loud. Running into danger. Standing tall in a fight. But sometimes, bravery is quiet. It's a wounded dog, dragging a backpack through a field, because he knows it means something to the person he loves. Rex didn't know what was inside. He didn't know about the letters. Or the locket. But he knew it mattered to Daniels. And that was enough. You see, loyalty doesn't wait to be asked. It acts when no one's watching. It sacrifices without being told. Rex wasn't just trained to protect. He chose to. Even when it hurt. Even when it nearly cost him everything. And maybe that's the part of this story that matters most. Not the headlines. Not the medal. Not the views or the awards. But the reminder. That love, real, deep, unwavering love, doesn't always look human. Sometimes, it has pause. Sometimes, it limps through pain. And sometimes, it carries a backpack, just to bring a piece of someone's heart back home. So if you've ever had someone, or something, who would go through fire just to protect a part of you, hold on to that. Because that kind of loyalty is rare. And when you find it, whether in a friend, a partner, or a four-legged hero, you never forget it.